Before I even look at the sentences, I notice that both however and by contrast are ways of saying but. So very unlikely that both of them are right. There's always a chance that something weird is happening, but, let's cross them out and deal with the weird thing if it ever comes up. But for now, that means I'm really just with a for example, which is one of our main categories of word types. And next, which isn't really in a category so much as it's just a word that indicates the passage of time or some sort of ordering of things. And so if that situation is happening, we should know it. They'll be talking about things in a time or ordered way. Let's just see. Following the Mata Ortiz pottery technique, Mexican sculptor Juan Quezada Salado starts by creating the base of the pot with a slab of clay. He builds the pot walls by layering coils of clay around the perimeter of the base. Salado then smooths out the pot's walls with a hacksaw blade. At last, the pot is ready to be painted. So there's lots of clues that we're talking about time and order here, right? He starts this way, he then does something else. At last, he does this last thing. So next fits in perfectly, right? He starts by creating the base. Next, he builds the pot walls. It's not an example, right? The whole thing is an example of how he does this technique, but not the sentence that we're talking about is not an example of starting by creating the base. We've moved on to a new thing. So you can always test that out that way and just kind of read them in the blank. But here I feel like if we know that next is used for ordering things, it's very obvious that it's correct because the whole passage is about ordering things.